I was born in Banff, a little town in Aberdeenshire. My first memories are recounted in my autobiography, Confessions of a Banffshire Loon. I'd always been a bit of a scribbler and regularly won essay competitions at school. Modesty dictates that I have to add there was precious little in the way of competition. At the tender age of 16, I had my first short story published in the Young Scotland magazine. It concerned activities of a young teenage boy called the Rebel, a sort of alter ego through whose misdeeds I could vicariously live the sort of exciting life I was much too timid to engage in myself. I was paid the princely sum of 1 guinea, which to me represented untold riches. Despite this wealth, I did not think, writer's life for me. Although I continued to write the further adventures of the Rebel, as well as some detective stories, I did not submit anything else for publication, mainly because, whilst I was full of ideas, I never got around to finishing anything. Eventually, I stopped writing altogether, which may surprise you when you learn that I later became a teacher of English. I did not pick up my pen again until many decades later. My wife and I were on holiday in Italy on an organised tour named after, I imagine, Goethe's An Italian Journey. "Why don't you write your own Italian journey?" suggested my wife while we were on the tour one day. "Give you something to do, now you are retired." It annoyed her that I sat at home doing nothing whilst she was out at work all day. She knew not what she did. An Italian Journey was my first book, and I have not stopped writing since, thus transforming my wife into a writer's widow. Travel writing is my speciality, Italy in particular. I have also written books on Minorca, La Palma and Cuba. In 1978 to 79, I spent a year in Missoula, Montana on a teacher exchange program. I would never have thought that countries which, to all intents and purposes, speak the same language, could be so culturally different. It was all very stressful and shocking at first. During my first week at school, a parent threatened to report me to the district attorney, while another angry mother harangued me at lunchtime in a public park. For a while, I was public enemy number 1. It all settled down eventually, and I had a whale of a time. Apart from all the other activities we engaged in, as well as making new friends, it also gave us a chance to travel to Canada, not to mention all over the USA, from north to south and from sea to shining sea. I've written 2 books about that year, and a 3rd volume is planned. My most recent book is an account of Scotland's famous North Coast 500 route. As many know, this is a 519-mile circuit of the Scottish Highlands, beginning and ending in Inverness. Along the way, I'll look at the history and geology that shaped its past, and its landscape, as well as telling the myths, legends and folktales that pertain to the region. I also came across some pretty colourful characters who once lived and died in that timeless landscape. Currently I'm writing an anthology of essays on Italy. I can't get away from the place. Some of which have appeared in Cold Noon Travel Poetics, a prestigious journal dedicated to travel writing. With a fair wind and without unexpected events turning up and delaying matters, I hope it will make its appearance by the end of the year. And after that? Well, as a sort of sequel to my Highland adventures, I intend to present the story of my travels around some Scottish islands. What those islands are, you will just have to wait and see. For more information about my writing, why not visit the Extremis Publishing website at www.extremispublishing.com.